I wasn't the kind of man who fell in love easily. Most of my relationships came and went like seasons. They arrived with warmth and left with the cold wind of forgetfulness. But her, Elisa, she was different. I still remember that evening. I had gone to this little bar, a bit fancy, a bit artsy. I rarely went there, but that night, I needed air. I had just landed a multi-million real estate deal. My business was taking off. But personally, I had no one to share it with. Not a single person who'd truly understand what it meant. So I ordered a drink. And that's when I saw her, sitting alone at a table, lost in a novel. A black dress, simple, elegant. Hair loose, deep dark eyes. She wasn't looking at anyone, yet everyone was drawn to her. I don't know what pushed me to approach her. I'm usually reserved. But something told me, go. We talked for hours. About everything. About nothing. About travel, movies, dreams, and broken pasts. I lost track of time. When it was time to leave, I said, I don't know why, but I want to see you again. She gave me a soft smile and said nothing. Then she slipped a note into my hand. A number. And 2 words, try tomorrow. The next day, I called her. And that's how she walked into my life. Like a gift. Poisoned. Over time. Laughter gave way to silence. Eye contact disappeared. And our bodies became strangers. Yes, I was absorbed in work. But I always came home. Always on time. Sometimes with flowers. But her. She had already started to leave. Not physically, she was still in the house. But her heart. Her heart was no longer with me. Everything changed when she started working from home. A creative project, she said. Some design website. And that's when he appeared. Arthur. Young, handsome, ambitious. A project partner, she claimed. At first, I didn't suspect a thing. He was polite. Respectful. Too respectful, maybe. And he had this way of inserting himself, without force. The hardest part isn't when someone leaves. It's when they stay, but they're already gone. Months passed, and Elisa became a stranger under my roof. She barely spoke. Answers came in short bursts. Yes, I'm tired. I'm working. I told myself it was just a phase. Stress. Maybe relationship fatigue. But it was something else. One day, I came home early from work. I heard muffled laughter in the living room. I opened the door, and there they were. She and Arthur. Nothing compromising. But too close. Too intimate. And that look between them. It chilled me. I said nothing. Greeted them. Then went up to our bedroom. That night, I waited for her to come up. But she never did. The next morning, she told me she'd sleep in the office, working on a late-night deadline. And I heard that line. Every night for the next 2 months. From that point on, it was over. She cooked for herself, ate alone. She giggled at messages on her phone. She lived in the house. But I had become a ghost, a living wallet, a name on a bank account, nothing more. One day, after leaving the office, a man waited by my car. A stranger. He seemed nervous, constantly glancing over his shoulder. And in a low, trembling voice, he said, "Be careful. Your wife and her lover are planning something. They want to hurt you." Seriously. I thought it was a joke, or that he was crazy. But in his eyes, I saw fear, and a raw sincerity that can't be faked. Before leaving, he handed me a USB stick. He whispered, "It's all in there, but be discreet." Back home, I locked the doors, closed the curtains, plugged in the USB. What I found froze my blood. Audio recordings, videos, screenshots of conversations. My wife, speaking openly about killing me. With Arthur, they talked about drugging me, staging an accident, eliminating me, and most of all, splitting my wealth. It was clear. They'd already passed the sentence. All that remained was the execution. For several days, I pretended. I smiled, played dumb. But every meal, I checked my food. Every drink, I faked sipping. I slept with one eye open. And every night, I listened to the evidence. Again and again. Their plan was precise. They would drug me, push me down the stairs, make it look like an accident. But first, they had to finish transferring my funds. They were almost done. Fear. It's a strange thing. Sometimes paralyzing. Sometimes awakening. For me, it woke me up. I knew knowing wasn't enough. I had to act. Fast. With my lawyer and a private investigator, we prepared a trap. I contacted the police discreetly, and we wired the house. Cameras and lamps. mics in kitchen walls, recorders in her perfume bottles. I had to act, be the doting husband, the clueless one, the fool in love. I took her to dinner, bought her flowers, pretended we were healing. She almost laughed in my face, but she played along. She thought I was desperate. She thought they were winning. She was wrong. On February 18th, I faked being tired. Lay on the couch. She brought me a drink. I let her pour it, then swapped it when she turned. I feigned drowsiness, faked unconsciousness. Then, they started talking. They laughed, dreamed out loud, talked about the Swiss account, what they'd buy, where they'd live. Arthur kissed Elisa. She whispered, "It's almost over. He'll be gone by morning." That's when the officers stepped out, guns drawn, cameras rolling. They didn't even have time to react. Elisa screamed. Arthur tried to run, but in seconds, they were cuffed, collapsed, trapped. I looked Elisa in the eyes. She begged, cried, but I said nothing, not a word. I stood there, cold, like the death she had planned for me. The trial was swift. The evidence was overwhelming. Their voices, their plans, their laughter. They were both convicted. Attempted murder with premeditation. Fraud. Aggravated conspiracy. Elisa got 18 years. Arthur, 22. They appealed. But justice doesn't waver when the truth is crystal clear. It took time to heal. A lot of time. I let no one into my house, or my heart, but I rebuilt. Cautiously, slowly, and most importantly, gratefully. Grateful to that stranger who saved me. Without him, I wouldn't be here to tell this story. I've thought about it all so many times. The signs, the silence, the looks she avoided, the moments I could have asked the right questions. Maybe avoided the worst, but I also know it. Sometimes, betrayal isn't about what you did wrong. It's about what you represent. I had become a target because I had succeeded, because I trusted her, because I didn't suspect a thing. Today, I live in a smaller house, but every inch of it is mine. Every silence is peaceful, and every night, I sleep without fear. I don't believe in love the way I used to, but I believe in instinct, in intuition, and most of all, I believe in that man, that stranger, who one day risked everything to warn me. I don't know who he was, or why he did it, but without him, I'd be a memory today. So yes, I lost everything, but I gained my life, and sometimes, that's the only treasure worth keeping.